international human rights law. Now, in what seems like a pathway to national reforms, Iranians are voting to elect new president after the demise of former President Ebrahim Raisi. 6 candidates emerged from 80 after a screening by jurists. We have details in this report.
Left with choosing from a tightly controlled group of 4 candidates loyal to the country's supreme leader, Iranians are voting for a new president following the death of Ebrahim Raisi in a helicopter crash. The election, which began at 8 a.m., is scheduled to close at 6 p.m. local time, but it could reportedly be extended until midnight. The snap election coincides with escalating regional tension emanating from the current war between Israel and the Iranian ally Hamas in Gaza and Hezbollah in Lebanon, as well as an increased international pressure on Iran over its nuclear program. While the election could bring a major change in Iran's policies, the outcome could influence the succession to Iran's 85-year-old supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who has been in power since 1989. Vetting the candidates, a hardline watchdog body made of 6 scholars and 6 jurists approves just 6 of them. From an initial poll of 88, 2 contenders dropped out. Prominent among the remaining hardliners are Mohammad Bagher Khalibaf, Parliament Speaker and former commander of the Air Force of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, and Sahih Jalili, a former nuclear negotiator who served for 4 years in Ayatollah Khamenei's office. The so-comparative moderate Masoud Pezeshkian is faithful to Iran's theocratic rule. Voter turnout has plunged over the past 4 years.
For more on the ongoing Iranian election, global affairs analyst Collins Onweke joins me now from Brussels in Belgium. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Onweke.
Always a pleasure, Ambassador. Thank you for having me.
All right, now 4 candidates out of the 6 approved by juries from a pool of 80 are vying to be president of Iran, and they all seem to be loyal to the supreme leader. What's the significance of this?
Well, if there is one thing that it has done, it is essentially alienating more and more the young people of Iran who are actually, considering this as, more of the same. More of the same in terms of the power play construction in Iran being essentially more in the hands of the supreme leader, who appoint those that vet the candidate. And like you mentioned, out of 80, they have, selected 6. 5 out of those 6 are known to be not just conservative, but act conservatives and actually religious conservative individuals. Only one is a reformist. Reformist in terms of, having the tendency, having the ambition to more or less normalize relations with, the West. So, indeed, Iranians are actually poised to boycott the election. Last time when they had an election, it was 2021, about 48% showed up. This time around, reports, filtering in has, said that, even more people, especially young people, are boycotting the election. So essentially, that is what we're getting with the hands of, the supreme leader firmly on top of the political button, and that is not doing Iran any good.
Now, we know that some activists at home and abroad are actually calling for a boycott of the election, but the supreme leader wants a high turnout. How significant, what is the import of voter turnout on the future of the republic?
The significance of voter turnout is that if more people turn out to vote, at least more than the 48 that they had in 2021, that would actually favor the candidates that, the supreme leader actually support. Now, a lower turnout will be in the, in the advantage of the reformist, Mr. Masoud, who has, made actually no secret of the fact that he wants to renegotiate, the nuclear, arrangement. He wants to also see that the United States and the Western alliance actually lift the ban that they have, on Iran, that is actually strangulating the economy and making them suffer untold hardship. Now, does that mean that he breaks ranks with the supreme leader? Certainly not, because he also has pledged his allegiance. But between the two bad, side of the choices, he appears to be the one that represents the, aspirations of the young people. So it remains wait and see.
All right. And is this election likely to cause a major shift to the policies of Iran?
It depends on who emerges the president. If the reformist emerges the winner, which is unlikely, certainly not on the first round, well then, one can begin to see the sort of, tendencies that actually played up during the presidency of Barack Obama when, they actually lifted the ban. The nuclear negotiations, was in a situation that it was manageable before, where Trump actually came in and actually rescinded, the agreement that were made there. So if he comes up, we can, roll back to the Obama era, where there was a systematic start in the normalization of relations. But if the, ARC conservatives, if one of them wins the election, well, then we're going to see a continuation of the hardlining that Iran has seen over the past 3 years under the late Raisi.
All right, Global Affairs Analyst Collins Nweke, thank you so much.